スタジオ3万
They work me like a dog and they treat the donkey better than me and they put antifreeze in the wine. Top of the morning to you and welcome to the old crack that is the Nerd OD podcast. I'm Dan.
I'm Reg.
Hi. How's it going?
What?
I'm losing my Irish accent here, Reg.
Where did that even come from?
Where did it come from?
Where
I
and
brought
why?
it back with me.
Right.
You know, they say best way to learn a language is to immerse yourself in the culture. And then suddenly you become fluent. That's what happened. Remember when Bart went to France and then he got set to work on that farm picking grapes so they could make wine, and then they put antifreeze in the wine, and then they made him sell it to the town, and then he went and found a police officer, and the police officer didn't understand what he wanted, and then he thought, I'll just give him a sweetener. It's like un bonbon, and he's like, I know, I don't want candy, mister, and then he was like, sacre bleu, and then started talking in French, and then he was like, zut alors, I know how to speak French now, and then he ran over to the police officer and was like, they work me like a dog and they they treat the donkey better than me and they put antifreeze in the wine. And the cop's like, antifreeze in the wine? Oh, this is serious. And then there you go. For the rest of his little trip abroad, he's put up in a hotel and he's treated like royalty. Yeah. So anyway, it's like that. It's exactly like that, just without the antifreeze.
Right.
But obviously they don't. I mean, I know there is kind of another language. There's Gaelic, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the signs were in English and in Gaelic in Dublin. But they mostly speak English. I think they speak. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard a person in Ireland speak Gaelic, but it is on all the signs. Like in Wales, you do hear a lot of people speaking Welsh, right? You might not because you're only just like half a mile past the border, but generally deep into the valleys, people speak Welsh. So it's understandable that the signs are in Welsh and in English. But in Ireland, yeah, they're in both. But I've never heard someone speak Gaelic. But either way, I picked up the accent, but I've clearly lost it now. All it took was 4.5 minutes of talking on a podcast and it's gone.
Yeah, and it was literally like half a sentence and it literally went so quick.
Yeah,
you started off so strong, Dan.
Impression. It did. I mean, I didn't intend to do it much longer because, it can get offensive, can't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah. In fact, we'll circle back to this specific subject in a little bit. But how are you anyway, Reg? Before I go on about my adventures,
I am good. Well, I've had a little bit of a misdemeanor over the weekend, which I won't go into too much detail because it's a subject you don't really like very much.
You ate mushrooms?
No, but it does do with eating and the stuff that's in your mouth.
Oh, you went to the dentist?
Well, so we had an Oliver Free sort of Saturday and like early Sunday.
Yeah. Before you go on, you know your limits here with this story, with me listening, right? You know where to stop.
Yeah, but don't worry, I haven't got physically to that bit yet.
Okay, good. Just clarifying. I don't want to forget about it. That I'm supposed to stop you, and then.
So for all you folks listening, Dan does not like dentistry talk.
No,
at all. No. So don't worry. Bear that in mind because it's not going to go much further anyway.
All right. So here you go. Enjoy half a story.
Yeah. So we had Oliver Free Saturday night and all Saturday. So we spent it mooching around town and having a few drinks, and then found like an awesome cocktail bar, which is like a hip hop cocktail bar called the Love Shack in Chester, where like the menu is just basically like bits and pieces from like certain songs, like song lyrics or the names of cocktails and stuff. And it was awesome, to be fair. Like, it's a really nice place. And then Sunday, we didn't have to pick them up till late in the afternoon, so we thought, we'll go for a Sunday dinner somewhere.
Nice.
Now, when me and you and Ash went to Florida, right, I had a all-day breakfast wrap meal from McDonald's, if you remember the story. And I basically lost a tooth in it.
On the way.
Yeah, it was just literally the day before Florida, and I was like, no, this is a nightmare.
That rings a bell.
And then weirdly, like a couple of days before our wedding, I ate something else, and it knackered up literally the same tooth on the other side of my mouth.
Okay.
And I'm
already getting squirmy here, Ed. Carry on.
Don't worry.
I have a mute button here.
Yeah, it doesn't go that far more into the story. So I was like, I'll go to the dentist and I'll sort it all out after the wedding. Everything will be fine, because it was literally too late for that. And then we decided, obviously, we're going to go to Florida. So that was our honeymoon. I was like, right, okay, need to sort it out before we go to Florida. And then I went, and they were like, right, okay, so that'd be £282 to sort out your teeth and stuff. And I was like, oh, right, okay. Yep, that's cool. Or what I could do is spend the £282 in Florida.
Okay.
So that's what I opted to do.
So have you never been back?
I've not gone back, no.
Okay.
I kept meaning to, and then kept forgetting and spending my money on other things. And then we had Oliver, and obviously all the money went towards Oliver. So I'm like, right, I'll sort it at some point. It'll be all right. At some point, I'll sort it. And then Sunday, we went for the Sunday dinner in like a really nice place called Pantio Chain. I'm probably saying the name completely wrong. It's in Welsh. But it's a gorgeous place just outside of Wrexham, like absolutely stunning pub, like gorgeous location all around it, like a little lake and stuff like this. It was unbelievably nice. And I had pork and beef as my Sunday dinner, and the pork came pork crackling, and I was like,
oh dear, I see where this is going.
Do love that
immediately.
Yeah, and it went into that tooth and basically just split that tooth that's like missing 3/4 of it anyway.
Yeah.
So now it's just wibbly wobbly. So it's like, right, okay, I need to get this sorted out because it's fucking painful. So this morning I was like, right, I'll phone the dentist and get set up. I've got some money now, so I can do it. It's fine. And we've got like a dental plan in place in work, so I can claim it all back and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. So I phoned up and they're like, yeah, well, you've not been for the past 5 years, so you're no longer registered on the books. And I was like, oh, can I re-register? Like, no, we're full. Okay. So we can pay to go private, but that's going to be about 410 to 450 for the work. I'm like, it work dental package will only go up to the NHS standard of the 280 quid. So I'll have a look around. So I've literally spent today going, can I get into your dentist? Like so many places, like 4 hours worth of, can I get into your dentist? Can I get into your dentist? To which everyone's gone, no, because of the pandemic, we're only literally allowing the people that are registered to come to our dentist. And I was like, no. And then I found like this place, which is a stupidly fancy, but like in Queensferry, which for people who know the sort of Northwest isn't very fancy. And yeah, the only way
you were going to have to go one end of the spectrum or the other there, weren't you? You're either going to have to go down a back alley, some guy's basement, or you were going to go stupidly expensive.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to go for the stupidly expensive option.
Fair enough.
So apart from that, I'm all right.
Cool.
I'm doing good.
Excellent. Is that over now?
We enjoyed ourselves. So yeah, so the story of the dentistry stuff is over until Monday when I go and get some work done.
Okay. So that probably means you're not going to be able to pod next Monday because you're going to be all Novocained up.
It could be quite an entertaining pod.
That could be the pod. It could be Reg on blooming laughing gas. Like that guy, that video of the guy, and they're like, your sister's going to come see you. I've got a sister. No way. Yeah, and Dad's going to bring her. Dad, I've got Dad as well. Oh, it's amazing. You'll be like that.
I hope so.
I really hope so. Yep.
So there we go. So Excellent. We'll record it as soon as I get out of the dentist.
Yes, exactly. And the ad revenue will pay for your work.
There we go.
Perfect. There you go. I knew it'd all work out. So I did something I've never, ever, ever, ever done before. And to be honest, I always dreamed would never happen to me. But, sometimes things just go the wrong way and things happen you don't want to happen.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What did you do?
Well, you already know, and that is I overslept and missed my flight. So myself and Sean / Steve, Steve said he had 3 weeks off work and wanted to do something, and I was like, okay, well, let's do something. Let's just let's go somewhere. Let's go, I don't know, camping or whatever, anywhere. And I was trying to avoid him suggesting, oh, I'll take you to Birmingham so we can go to the massive Primark, because he's obsessed with the Primark in Birmingham. It's the world's biggest Primark. I don't know whether you've been.
Yes.
It's got like a Disney cafe and all sorts of stuff, and yeah, great. Yeah, he's been going on at me for ages. You've got to go to that Primark. It's amazing. For non-UK listeners, by the way, Primark, or Pennies, as we'll get to in a minute, Primark is like a real discount clothes shop. Nice, decent clothes though, but for very, very, very cheap. Yeah. So anyway, he was like, oh, we can go to Berlin. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere on a flight where I've got to spend like 5 times the amount the flights are going to cost on COVID tests. Let's just go somewhere nice and easy. Ireland. Let's go to Dublin. You love Ireland. You love Dublin. Let's go there. Cheap flights, like a tenner there, 15 quid back. And yeah, just a couple of nights there, sort of three days pretty much, and 2 nights. So he came round. We had to leave at about 5:30 in the morning to get to the airport for about 6, and the flight was, I think, about 7:10, something like that, in Liverpool. And so he came around the night before. We had dinner, we watched some stuff, and then he went to sleep, and I went to sleep. And obviously, I'm leaving Shell for a couple of days. And with a sort of couple who we barely spend any time apart. So she's like, "Oh, you're going to Dublin without me, leaving me." She got a hamster, fortunately, so that's a decent enough replacement, I'd say. Yeah, right. Lilo's good at that. But anyway, so we were lying in bed talking for probably about an hour or something after we went to bed, and then I was like, right, okay, let's go to sleep now. And I went to sleep. Didn't set an alarm. Haven't set an alarm in 18 months. Like, I literally have had no reason to set an alarm in 18 months. Pretty much since we went to Japan. I probably set an alarm for those flights, and that was it. I haven't had to get up for work because I'm a lazy bum. So it's been pretty bad. I think I've forgotten how to set an alarm, or that setting an alarm is even a thing. So I woke up at about. So I think I said we had to leave by about 5:30, right? I think I'd say we probably had about half an hour, maybe 20-minute grace on that. We left at sort of 10 to, as long as we got to the airport by about 6:30, pretty straightforward at that time of the morning, just to get through non-existent security and then get onto the plane. I woke up at pretty much about 5 minutes before that leeway ran out. So it wasn't even that bad a time. It was probably about half an hour after we needed to really get up. And if it had been any earlier, probably could have just thrown clothes on and gone, Sean, quick, get in the car. And we'd nailed it straight to the airport. But unfortunately, it was too late. So it was like, okay, let's just, before I go and tell him.
Why didn't he wake you up?
Because I said, well, he says it's just as much my fault because I didn't set an alarm either. But I'd said to him, like, I feel responsible because I literally said, I'll wake you up in the morning. And you'd probably trust me, I think, to be sensible and set the alarm and make sure that we were up. I don't know. I feel like I've earned that much credit with people that they would probably trust me to do what I say I'm going to do in that respect, right?
Yeah, but if you're going on holiday, you always make sure that you set an alarm. And then also, if I'm staying over at someone's house as well, I always get up that little bit early so I don't disturb their normal routine, so that I can actually have my wash and get myself sorted and ready.
Yeah, but Sean, so cut that bit out of your daily schedule.
Fair enough.
No, he showered the night before, so that makes sense. That's fine. So yeah, we missed it. So I thought, right, before I go and tell him, let me get a solution. So I started having a look, and we could go the next day at I think like 8 a.m. and it was only like 15 quid or something like that. That's crazy that you can literally get a flight to another country the following day for that cheap. So I sort of went in and sat down, and he turned the light on, and he was like, "Oh, all right, yeah, I'm getting up." And I was like, "It's all right. You can sleep a bit longer." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I missed the flight." And he's like, "What?" And jolted out of bed. And I explained everything. So he's like, "Oh, what can we do?" And I said, "Well, we've got this tomorrow. We could just leave till then. I'll just get into the hotel, make sure they don't give our room away." And he's like, "There are no flights today." I was like, "Well, okay, let's have a look." And yeah, there is one. It's at like 10 o'clock tonight. So we'll be there for 11. We'll probably be at the hotel for about midnight, which, yeah, at least we're still there to use our hotel that we paid for. So that's good. It was like 35 quid or something. So it still wasn't so bad, but it was still 35 quid, we didn't really need to spend. So we were like, all right, look, let's do that, because we don't have to then rely on getting lifts. We can get the train to Manchester Airport. So yeah, that was Manchester instead of Liverpool. So I thought, let's do that. And you know what, let's go and have a day in Liverpool. Let's get some lunch, and then we'll head to the airport. So we went over there, found a nice place to eat, and we were thinking what to do. And I was like, I've got an amazing idea of what to do. Let's go to Arcane's, which in Liverpool, there's an area called the Baltic Triangle, which it's basically in the last sort of 5 to 10 years, it's become this entertainment and food hub. It's amazing. There's a big sort of, food court type thing there called the Baltic Market. Camp and Furnace is a really good bar. There's Ghetto Golf, which is a big like neon golf course, crazy golf course. Loads of stuff. And it's all old warehouses. And then part of it used to be Kane's Brewery. And that closed down years ago. So part of it has become a bar. And then the other half of it has become this massive 3-floor arcade. So you pay 12 quid to get in, and then everything's on free play. And they've got like the ground floor, they've got a few big arcade machines. Like they've got this massive like 20-foot screen Tomb Raider gun game, which looked amazing. Didn't get to play it, unfortunately. Load of arcade machines running like like the generic arcade cabinets that have just got like the main boards in, so they've just loaded whatever. So like Street Fighter, Turtles, whatever. And then they've got like shuffleboard and loads of pinball tables and basketball and pool tables and air hockey. And then you go upstairs, and then that floor's got a load more stuff. They've got like the Walking Dead game. They've got a load of Terminator games. They've got I think it was the newer Turtles game. It's like a big 4-player action thing with this huge screen. House of the Dead, Time Crisis. They've got Mario Kart. Loads of stuff. And then in the other half of that floor is like the rhythm section, where they've got a couple of Guitar Heroes. They've got 2 or 3 DDR games. They've got a Taiko no Tsujin from Japan, the one with the taiko drum. And that's all in Japanese as well. And they had Perfume on the soundtrack, which was amazing. So I played that against Sean. They've got, I forget what the game's called, but I've never seen it in this country before. It's this big round screen, and it's got all these buttons around it, and it's a rhythm action game, and you have to press, as the things go to the edge of the screen, you have to press the buttons and then sort of wipe across the screen and stuff. And I've seen people play that in Japan, and they like wear gloves to make sure that their hands don't chafe on it, and they're just all over. They're just amazing at it. They had that. And then the top floor's got a whole LAN area, and there's loads of people playing Fortnite and Apex Legends. And then they've got a bunch of old console setups. We had a game of Mario Kart 64 there. It's awesome. It's really, really, really good. So we stayed there for a good few hours, and then we had to get the train to Manchester, where we got some dinner, and then got the train into the airport and flew off to Dublin. And after that day, we kind of got there, we got to the hotel, we checked in, and we're like, right, done, we're here. And then started thinking about it and thought, okay, well, that cost 35 quid. But you know what? The amount we'd have probably spent in Dublin, because Dublin is so expensive, I reckon we've probably saved that in terms of what we had for lunch, what we had for dinner, how we got around going to that arcade thing. So I don't think it worked out too badly. And then by the end of the holiday as well, especially, like I think on the last day, we had about 4 or 5 hours to kill before we had to go to the airport. and we'd kind of run out of things to do. I mean, Dublin's got a lot to do, but we'd done it before. You know, we didn't really want to go to museums. We've already walked around a few parks, been to a lot of bars. So I think if we'd have had that extra day, we'd have probably struggled to find things to do. Because it's not Dublin's not massive. You know, it's not like London where you've got so many different areas. Like it's, you know, you could spend the day around Piccadilly and Oxford Street, or you could go to Camden and spend the entire day there. You could spend, you know, loads of time around Covent Garden. You could go down to Waterloo. You know, all the different sections. You could spend ages in each of those areas. You could have a good few day trip there. It's not quite like that. You know, once you're out of the main sort of centre, it starts to just be a little bit sort of residential and things. So it's, you know, there's definitely less and less to do the further out you get. So you really got to hang around O'Connell Street and Temple Bar. But then you go to Temple Bar, it's about €9 for a pint. So it's just obscene. So we found plenty to do anyway on those 2 days. But I actually think missing the flight was almost a good thing. I mean, I'd love to have not spent that extra money. But like I say, I think we saved probably most of that money back anyway. And we still had a great time in Dublin. So that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I had possibly the best vegetarian burger I've ever had in my life. And there was this sort of food court place that had like, it was outdoors and had loads of food trucks. And one of them was a vegan place. And they had a burger that was called the Big Whap. And it was basically, it said our version of the Big Mac. And I was like, right, sold, that's what I'm having. And it was perfect. I mean, it was better than a Big Mac. The bun was really nice. The burger patties were really nice and thin and juicy. Like they were I don't know whether you've ever, I'm sure you'd have no reason to, but the Beyond Burger patties are really good. They're really impressive. Like I genuinely don't think you'd know the difference. And then they'd made Big Mac sauce, and it was just perfect. It tasted exactly like Big Mac sauce. But yeah, it was called the Big Whap, which I didn't even notice at first. And Sean went, oh, it's called the Big Whap. And I was like, what's that? Oh, yeah, I'm having that. That's mine. Yeah, and that was our few days in Dublin. And then we got back late at night on Saturday. And then Sunday morning began holiday part 2. Sean went home, and me and lovely Shell have been on, like I said, this is the second day now of our 6-day trip down south. We're Merlin annual pass holders for now. We think we're going to stop it after this because I think we've pretty much done everything we need to do enough times. So Sunday we went to Alton Towers. Monday, today, we went to Legoland. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we're going to Chessington. Wednesday, we're going into London. We're going to go to Madame Tussauds. And in the evening, we're going to go and watch the Back to the Future musical. Thursday, we are doing London Dungeons, Shrek's Adventure, and the London Eye. And then Friday, we're doing Thorpe Park before we head home.
Wow.
And I like walking on holidays. I don't like getting public transport places. Sean's an Uber guy. Sean was like, let's get an Uber from Arcanes to Lime Street Station, which is like a 15-minute walk. I'm like, fine. It was at that point, it was just like, I just want to make sure we get there. I don't want to miss any more trains. So it's fine. But we did a lot of walking around Dublin, and we've done a lot of walking around theme parks. And after yesterday, like the first day, and we went to Alton Towers, got in the car at the end of the day, and Alton Towers didn't close till 7 yesterday.
Oh,
we got in the car about 7. And my legs were just killing me. And I was like, there's no way I can do another 5 days of this. But what I didn't realise is Alton Towers is humongous, but all the London theme parks are they've got the same amount of stuff there, but they're relatively tiny.
Yeah.
At Thorpe Park, you could walk from one side to the other in about 4 minutes.
I was going to say it's weird how small Thorpe Park actually
but
is, and how much stuff is in there.
Exactly. They've just like squeezed in what they can. So yeah, after then today walking around Legoland and got to the end of the day, I was like, oh, do you know what? I'm all right. I'm going to be able to do this. Now Wednesday and Thursday in London might be a whole different story. because it's one of those where it's all well and good knowing you've got your tube pass that lets you go, anywhere in London for that one ticket. But a lot of time you do a Google map and it says, it's going to take you 15 minutes on the tube, or it's going to take you 20 minutes to walk it. I'm like, fine, just walk it. And then you see more, although I've seen everything in London. But still, that's what we'll end up doing. We won't end up getting the tube everywhere, and my feet will kill me again. But never mind. Yeah. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Part of the fun in holidays, so.
Yeah. I was having fun, but I was deeply disturbed by an incident today at Legoland.
Okay.
So we went. I went to Legoland and did most of the rides. I'd say about 6-7 years ago. I think was probably the last time. I don't know, maybe longer than that. Whenever we did our Merlin Madness week, where we went from Blackpool right the way down to London and did everything.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. Now, me and Shell went for half a day last summer, but we didn't do all the rides. And there's a few we didn't do. So we thought, let's make sure we get all the things we didn't go on. And there was a ride that opened about 2 years ago, maybe, which is it's called like the Haunted House Monster Party or something like that. And it's basically a haunted house. And we got there and we were looking at what's open, and it said, this doesn't open till 1 p.m. I'm like, that's a bit weird. Okay, we'll come back to that. And we went on a bunch of other rides, went on the new Mythica, the flight of the winged lion or something. I forget what it's called. It's basically, if you've ever been to Florida, or you've been to Disney, or you've been to Port Aventura, to Ferrari World, it's soaring basically, which is the Disney one, and the Ferrari flight of Ferrari history or something like that. You sit in a row of seats, and there's a big screen in front of you, and the seats sort of move around and you're flying through it, and it's fun. It's really good.
As you say, I've been intrigued by that, to be fair.
Yeah, well, you've done the Ferrari one, haven't you?
And soaring.
Oh yeah, of course you've done soaring as well, and I'm sure soaring is a lot more impressive, because it's like you've also done the Simpsons Ride, right?
I have.
So the Simpsons Ride used to be the Back to the Future ride. The problem with that ride is, so it's this big, huge, like spherical screen in front of you, like this dome screen, and there's 3 floors of cars, and there's probably about 8 to 10 cars on each floor, and each one is sort of, if you think you're in the middle car, right in the middle of the screen, great, you've got a straight on look, but then as you go in further out, the cars are further towards the edge of the screen. So to get the angle right, you really want to make sure you're in the middle floor, in the middle car, but that never happens. You're always at the bottom or the top, at the side, at the edge. So your view isn't quite perfect. And the worst thing is, when you're on the end cars, you can see other cars.
All the cars.
So it was really annoying when you were supposedly in the DeLorean, the Back to the Future ride, and you'd look over and there's 20 other DeLoreans all flying around. But anyway, that's beside the point. It's like that anyway, in a way, just not individual cars that fly around. But anywho, fun, really good rides. Probably I was really disappointed by the new ride at On Towers. It just seemed really cheap and rubbish. The Gangster Granny one. But I'm really impressed that Merlin have actually then got something like that in them, and I don't know why they don't do more of that, because it's just a really good fun ride, and it's easily just transplantable to other parks. Because you know what Merlin are like, they like to have a ride and they'll go, let's put it also in another park, we'll just call it something different. Yeah. So speaking of which, so we go, it gets to 1 o'clock and we're like, that ride's open now, should we go and have a look? I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, sounds good. I mean, it's in the shape of a house, it's probably going to be a haunted house ride, right? And we had no idea what this ride was, so we get into the queue. It's only like a 10-minute queue, and we're like, is it going to be, is it a show? Is that why it didn't open till 1 o'clock? Is it because there's like going to be people dressed as Lego Dracula and stuff dancing around? But then they were.
I love that you have no idea what this is, and I did.
No, we had no clue at all. And we were thinking, no, because they'd be letting big groups in one go, and there'd be like, probably times for the show. So it can't be that. No, it's got to be a ride of some sort. And then we saw them measuring kids to make sure they were tall enough. I'm like, right, it's definitely a ride. It's got to be a ride. And then as we're getting towards the front of the house, so there's another queue indoors, but as you get into the front of the house, it splits the queue into two. We're like, okay, right, interesting. So we've got a left ride and a right side. And I turned to Shell and I went, I bet you this is going to be Hex. This is going to be Hex, isn't it? They're splitting us into two here. It's going to be the left side of Hex. It's going to be the right side of Hex. And for those who have not been listening to this podcast for a while and are unaware, I hate Hex with an absolute passion. Hex is the ride at Alton Towers where you are sitting on these big long benches. There's two either side looking at this big branch that's supposedly cursed. And then it's like a pirate ship, but the room moves with it. So it looks like you're going upside down and it's stupid. It's just so bad. And I hate that and any variation of it. I hate the one that's in Efteling. I love Efteling, but I hate that version. And I still get hate to this day for comparing it to Hex saying they ripped Hex off. Even though I owned up to it and apologized. I even put linked to another video where I even said, sorry, I had no idea that it was like that. And look, I just hate the ride. So, you know, it was a joke. It's a running joke. Just please get over it. And then when we went to Drayton Manor, we got tricked into going, I think tricked. We got tricked by not knowing what this ride was, but it was another sort of haunted house type thing. And it turned out it was Hex. But that was such a letdown because the intro to the ride was so good. It was like there's this whole like story about the family that lived there and it turned to ghosts, and then suddenly it goes pitch black, and then the floor goes transparent, and underneath the floor you see people hanging, and so it was really good, really dark, and really kind of quite scary. And then they go and put you in a room with a couple of benches, and then they make you feel like you're going upside down when you're not. And I was furious. So anyway, I immediately dismissed that this was going to be Hex. I was like, nah, this has got to be some sort of like train ride or something, you know, like through a haunted house. So, okay, let's go in. We went in, still split up. We go on two sides of the room, and then there's a TV screen, and then Dracula appeared, like Lego Dracula, and he's like, it's taking you into my party. It's going to be a wonderful monster party. And all that. And then the doors open either side, and everyone goes in. And I'm just confronted by these two long benches and a big table down the middle. Immediately, if I was a swearing man, I would have got thrown out of the park. Like my words were just, they were on the tip of my tongue. And I was like, no, I'm at Legoland. Just be angry inside yourself. Wait till you leave. And Shell just burst into fits of hysterics. It was great.
I don't understand your hatred for the rides.
It's terrible. It's so bad. There's nothing good about that ride to the point where, like, there's so many of them worldwide. Like, I'm even going to look it up now. Right, I know for a fact now that this ride is called a Madhouse. It's made by Vekoma. And Vekoma do some really good rides. This is not one of them. Okay, let me see. How many of these in the world are there? Number of installations, 16. So there are 16 around the world. Where are we? There's 5 in Germany. How is there 5 in Germany? There's only 1 in the United States. Oh, no, it's 3 in the United States. Oh, okay, this is just in a order of when they opened, in fact. Great Britain. Oh, there's blooming 1 in... Oof. Okay, that was close. There's 1 in Blackpool at Pleasure Beach. I know for a fact if we'd have gone to Blackpool, I'd have ended up going, let's go on this impossible ride. And then there it was. So
at least you know the name of it now, so you know not to fall for it.
So this ride opened in 2019. Like, why do they think that this is still... It was first... the first build was in... Oh, geez. Wait, no, that can't be... Oh, Mobile Madhouse. No, I refuse to believe these numbers are right, but 1894. No, can't be. This is what Wikipedia's telling me. 1972, maybe. Oh, I don't even know. I'm not even sure I care.
Right. Yes, you hate them and you think they might be pointless, but isn't it
1996,
amazingly funny when you go on Hex again? Because we always have to. You always see that one family that's like, "What the hell?
I used to get that joy. I definitely used to get that joy. Now I'm old and I'm, cynical. I just don't. It doesn't happen anymore.
Oh, I love it.
And the thing is, this should have been good because Legoland is primarily a kids park. There's a lot more kids there than there were adults. So the ride was full of kids, but it was dark, so I couldn't see all their stupid faces. But what did happen is we were leaving, and then we heard a couple behind us. There was this kid, and she went, "That was the best ride ever." And I literally, like Shell said, if I'd have looked at them, I'd have been giving them daggers. I just turned to Shell, and I was just like, had this look of like, "Are you hearing this? Can you actually hear what this kid is saying?" So stupid and naive young child.
Oh, bless them. And they loved that. That was probably the favourite part of their holiday, and you're just going mental at them.
Yeah. I know, but then like that theme park, the Legoland, has got the Dragons Coaster, the Dragons Challenge or whatever it's called, which is such a great, fun little roller coaster through the castle and everything. It's awesome. Yeah, they thought that a flipping madhouse was the best thing that they'd ever been on.
How old was said kid?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't look at him because there would have been problems.
Right. Okay.
Why are you looking at my child like that? I know that can be taken out of context, but
yeah, massively.
I was angry. I was very angry. I just hate that twice I've been fooled.
I think it's now my mission now to find new theme parks.
Well,
that we haven't been to,
that won't happen now, Reg, because I've literally just read the entire list on Wikipedia. And yeah, the first one was developed in 1996. And do you know what? This ride is so popular that another company decided to start manufacturing them.
I can believe it.
Well, I can't. It's stupid. It's so stupid.
Is there an age limit on Hex?
Well, there's definitely a height limit. There was on this one.
I'm just wondering if I could take Oliver on Hex. Probably he'd know because he'd be too shit scared of the actual intro.
That's true.
To actually get, if he would love the ride,
possibly.
If he went on the ride, he'd be like, "Wow," and he'd love it. But I think the whole like story element would freak him massively
out. 90 centimeters, 2 foot 11 inches.
I don't know how tall he is. I have to have a little examination into that because that could be quite amusing.
In 2000, costing £4 million.
I know. I to be fair, I do remember when I first went on Hex, and we queued up for like an hour and a half to nearly 2 hours to get on it, and going like, "Oh my god!" and then going, "Oh."
I have 2 vivid memories of going on that the first time, and when it opened. One, I remember seeing on like Newsround or something. I don't know. It was on some not normal news program, and they were like, "Yeah, we're going to show you the new Alton Towers ride." And I was like, "All right, great, let me watch that." And they didn't show anything of the ride. All they did was they showed kids going into the scary bit, and then shots of their face on the ride, and they were like, "Whoa, it's amazing!" And then they interviewed them afterwards, and they were like, "I couldn't believe it! Like, it felt like the bit where we felt like we were going upside down and everything." So it was like they knew it was so bad that they needed to hide the secret for as long as they possibly could. Like, I get it with 13, they want to make sure that people don't know the secret thing, which I won't mention in case people haven't been on it. But that's fine. That is a really fun little, extra thing that's not on many other roller coasters, right? But this, they were like, "Yeah, we know that once people know what's going on, it's over for this ride. So we need to just look. We spent £4 million on this thing. We need to make sure that people still want to go on it." And then the second one, I was in the queue for it, and I remember it was the day that The Simpsons moved to Channel 4 from BBC, and they were doing a Simpsons marathon. And one of the episodes they were showing was the Cartridge Family, which was the band episode where Marge gets a gun. And yeah, they had never been shown on TV before. So I remember forgetting about it and then being in the queue, remembering and ringing my dad and going, I forgot, could you record The Simpsons for me, please? I don't know why, but I remember that exact moment being in the next queue.
That's 3 references to The Simpsons in like the first half an hour of this pod.
Well, I'm sorry.
Don't have a cow, man. Christ, I was just saying.
Very good, very good. Episode title, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, you got no control over this. So.
No, Ed. Reg is going to have to actually edit this one this week.
Yeah, so I apologise for the quality in advance.
It's fine. I mean, it's been a while, but
it's been a while.
I'm sure it'll all come back to you.
Yeah,
eventually.
Easy, easy. They say.
Yeah, and you know, probably one of the downsides of being on holiday, like for the last at least 4 days now, and for another 4 days, I'm not going to get a chance to go and see Shang-Chi.
No, you are not.
No. And the worst thing is, my other half went to watch it on Saturday.
What?
I know.
How did she go without you?
Could. She went with a friend. She was going to the cinema, and a friend sent her a list of all the films. Was like, "What this?" And we were going through them, and we'd either seen them or they were horror movies, and she won't do horror movies. And I told her all about Snake Eyes, and she was like, "Yeah, I don't want to watch that." Then, so I was like, "The only good film that's on, well, looked good anyway, is Shang-Chi." But we were going to go and watch it tomorrow after we've been to the theme park. But I was like, "Do you know what? Just go and watch it. Just watch it. It's fine. Don't worry about it." And she was like, "No, I won't go and watch it. No, just watch it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I'll be all right. We'll go and see it when we get back." So yeah, she went and watched it. So I told her not to tell me anything about it other than was it good. And she's not like this, you know, she's not like us in terms of Marvel movies where it's like generally, I know we haven't for a while, but we wanted to see them immediately, as most of the world is, you know. She's a fan of them. Don't get me wrong. I think pretty sure she's watched them all, but at the same time, I don't know whether she remembers half of them now, because there's loads of little references that have come up, and she's like, I can't remember who that is. What's going on with that? Like she didn't remember when we went to see Black Widow. She'd forgotten the Black Widow had died. Spoilers. Right, I was like, yeah, she dies. And then when? Like in Endgame? Oh, I don't remember that. You don't remember the whole bit with her and Hawkeye, and they were fighting, and it's like, who gets to jump off the cliff, and they had to go and get the Soul Gem, the place that Thanos threw Gamora. No, it's fine. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, the one thing I did say was it any good? And she said, yeah, it was really good. So that is a genuine, unbiased opinion. Is that Shang-Chi is really good.
It's also doing a lot of rounds at the moment on the Shenmue fan page.
Really?
Like on the Shenmue fan pages.
How come?
Because there's apparently a fight scene which is very reminiscent of the training scenes in Shenmue 3. With the whole like location where it's actually doing it. Looks a little bit like the Beirut village. Where you're going through, and the actual fighting stance and stuff like that. Like so many people when it came out.
Does the film just stop for 2 minutes while he does the horse stance?
Yeah, and starts eating garlic after it.
That sounded like I said horse dance. He doesn't do a horse dance. He does the horse stance, just in case, because that would be different.
That is very true.
Very different.
Well, yeah. So apparently, loads of people are just like, yeah, honestly, like visually and everything, it's just like Shenmue 3, and I'm like, Well, I wanted to see it anyway, but now I really, really, really want to see it. So I'm like, I'm going to have to just get out there. I think at some point. I
feel like this is the one that most people who are sort of soured a little bit would be wanting to go and see it, because it's this is the first proper next phase. Yeah, isn't it?
That's it.
It's different. It's a new character, and you know what? I mean, the guy who plays Shang-Chi, Simu Liu, is it? He seems to be absolutely like killing it in like interviews and on social media and stuff. Like it sounds like he's so like funny and down to earth, and people seem to be really liking him. Yeah, so there you go. We've got the new Robert Downey Jr. for the MCU.
Maybe not that far, but yeah, no. I was going to say
no.
he does seem to be doing his work really, really well. And I do love, he's done a little mini advert for Walt Disney World in Shang-Chi as well, where he goes to buy some like random snack from a food cart. And he turned around and one of the bad guys is there, and like they literally run at each other and do the start of the fight, and then it just ends. It's like, Shang-Chi, you can watch it till Disney World. It's like, right, interesting.
Okay, interesting.
But yeah.
And it's done well as well. It made $71.4 million in the opening weekend.
Yeah, Labour weekend, isn't it? It's the biggest.
Which is apparently it broke the record held by Halloween, which was back in 2007. So one of the Halloween remakes, which is everyone thought that it was. I mean, everything's going to pot in the States again, right? In a lot of the country. So people were thinking, oh, great, we're going to go back to movies not coming out and whatnot. But this has done amazing. I mean, it was just behind Black Widow, to be fair. Black Widow made 80, but it was ahead of Fast 9 or whatever it was called, which did 70, it's really impressive, especially for a new sort of franchise, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm curious, though, what the drop-off's going to be, because the good thing about this one is that it's not going to be going straight onto premium access on Disney Plus.
It's literally straight onto Disney Plus, isn't it?
Well, it will be straight onto Disney Plus in what was it, 6-8 weeks, something like that, 9 weeks. I can't remember. There's some time scale, but the point is, Black Widow fell off a cliff after its opening weekend. Everyone who wanted to see it in the cinema went to see it straight away, and then that was it. Whereas something like this, if you want to go and see it, you can't. There's going to be people who want to wait those 8-9 weeks, but people aren't going to necessarily rush to see it. They're going to keep going. Hopefully, it's not going to be like, right, we can watch it on TV now, which is a lot of the Warner Brothers stuff has had that problem. There's been a huge drop off. Things like Godzilla versus Kong did great on its opening weekend and then just disappeared. But the thing about that is it will add more sort of evidence to the Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, Disney lawsuit. If this doesn't drop off in the same way, then I think it's pretty much, game over for Disney in terms of that. But who knows? Yeah.
And apparently, they surely have to agree. Like, we can settle this out of court. Like, no, please, because we know we fucked up massively.
Yeah, you'd have thought so. But the other thing that lawsuit's causing issues with, though, as well. Have you heard the Russo brothers? They're in negotiations to do whatever their next film would be for Disney and Marvel. But it's looking like they're not going to agree until the lawsuit's settled, which is good. It's good that they're sort of siding with Scarlett Johansson.
Backing up the actress instead of the actual money maker. Yeah,
I mean, you see a lot of like, well, she made, I can't remember what it was 50 million or something for that movie, and everyone's like, how can you complain at 50 million? And it's not that, like, surely at this point then it becomes the principle of it. It's like, well, why are you happy with Disney keeping hundreds of million more dollars than the actor that did it because they had a deal? It's just, I don't know, it's kind of insane. But until that's sorted, they're not gonna sign to make another movie, which I wouldn't be surprised if that sort of forced the hand a little bit, but we'll see.
Yeah, surely it's got to, because every time you think of Marvel, you think of either Kevin Feige or you think of the Russo brothers, because the Russo brothers make so many of the best Marvel movies.
Yeah, exactly.
That will be an absolute loss.
Yeah, and you know what would happen? Straight over to DC.
Yeah, fair enough. Worth James Gunn.
Oh, yeah, exactly. James Gunn will probably be the one to go, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Come over here and then give it a bit of time and Disney will be straight back to you. That's what happened with me. I'm making a Christmas Guardians of the Galaxy movie now because of this, which I can't wait for. I'm really glad. I love
it. It will be godlike, but yeah. I should say, well, the things to come back with.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're still not seeing Suicide Squad, I'm guessing?
No, not had a chance yet. I do still really want to see it. So at some point, I probably will.
Yeah.
Because it's with it being HBO, it's not going to go to like Disney or anything like that, is it? So it's literally going to have to be a case of go watch it or wait for it to come on to like.
True. Yeah. It'll be on. Yeah, so it'll be on probably Sky Movies unless their deal with HBO runs out before then. But I've not heard anything about the about HBO Max launching over here yet. But yeah, as we talked about this quite a lot before. But when that happens, it feels like a really big problem for Sky.
Massively, yeah. Like, I was annoyed because when we first got rid of Sky Cinema, we had a load of films still on the planner, and I was like, oh, I wonder if they're going to work still. We checked them all, and they all still work fine. I was like, amazing. So anything we downloaded before the deal ran out, is we can now watch. Like, that's good. We obviously can't watch anything new, but we can watch all the ones that we've downloaded for happy days. And then the other night we were sat there and we're like, we've literally got nothing else to watch now. Like, what do we do? And I was like, should we just watch one of the films we've got on the planner? Because we haven't watched any of them. We've had them there for like about 2 years now. So should we really start watching them? She's like, yeah, go on then, choose one and we'll stick it on. So like, I was like, let's just stick on The Witches because we've not seen that yet. And it's been there for ages.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And yeah, no, we can't watch it anymore. He's like, no, we can't watch that. And it's like, well, we'll just try with the other 30 that I've got. No. I was like, God damn it.
Were you regularly hitting a point where you were like, I've got no room on the Skybox. We're gonna have to delete stuff.
Not yet, no.
All right.
Literally,
that's fine.
The Skybox.
Doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, the Sky Q is amazing. So we've got
like 2 terabytes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like 426 episodes of Paw Patrol. Like 300 odd episodes of Peppa Pig. Bear in mind, there's only like about 30 episodes of Peppa Pig in total. And Sky just can't decide what's a new one and what's already got.
Okay, so it just constantly records.
So it's just like, hey, yeah, let's just re-record. And the only thing with Sky Q is there's no select all delete.
No.
Like a series. So you've literally got to sit there and for like an hour or something, just delete all 300 episodes of that, and you're like, oh Jesus. So we haven't got around to it yet.
No.
So
is Paw Patrol going to be Oliver's first trip to the cinema?
Not yet.
No,
not yet. He's still not massively into sitting there still for like an hour.
No, he can watch like 3 or 4 minutes of Paw Patrol on your phone and then skip on to something else, but he can't sit there for an hour watching a Paw Patrol movie at the cinema.
Like, he'll watch it, but he needs to be able to play around and do other stuff when it's on as well. He's not one of those that'll just sit there and be like, right, this has all my undivided attention. It could be anything. But he'll like love it, but he'll want to be able to play with the Paw Patrol toys while he's watching Paw Patrol. Or like the pig, he'll play with his little pig stuff. Like, he's always wanting to do stuff while he's watching something. So at the minute, like, the cinema would be a no-go.
Yeah.
To be fair. But I reckon there'll be a point at some time where I can be like, right, okay, let's try it. But I don't think it's yet.
No, fair enough.
So, which is a shame.
I was hoping we were going to have a review, but never mind.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good as well. That's the annoying thing. But I don't know. At the same time, I'm quite happy because apparently one of the Kardashians does the voice for Sky or something. So I'm quite content.
Okay,
that that's not the case. So, we'll live and learn. At some point, I'll do it. Like, I'm intrigued to know what it'll be like. That's why when we bought the Alton Towers tickets, like, we had to make sure we went to. Where did we go? We went to the zoo and we did like the boat ride at the zoo, and we had to queue up for like 40 minutes while we waited.
You wanted to see if he could last that.
Yeah, wait, see if he could do it. And to be fair of him, there's enough stuff going on around him to make him go like, oh, I'll sit on Dad's shoulders while I have a look around. And, he would like go on the floor and play with his little car or Woody that he took with him. And he was as good as gold and waited and got on the ride and he loved it. And like, we did the ice cream farm, we did all the little mini rides and stuff at the ice cream farm, and he went on the little quads and stuff. So he was like, yeah, right, into this, like, doing all this is really fun. So we were like, you know what? Yeah, I think he genuinely would enjoy doing doing Alton Towers and doing CBeebies World and like all that sort of stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing his reaction to some of the stuff. Like, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll be good. But the chance of sitting still for an hour and a half just watching something on the telly is definitely a no-go. I'm afraid. But yeah, at some point maybe. But just not yet. But we were like, right, what do we watch? Because obviously there's not a great deal on at the minute. We're still waiting for everything to come back up again. So we started going back through all the old stuff and going, right, okay, I've been dying to watch Sons of Anarchy for years, and I've just never got round to watching it. But now I've missed the boat on that massively because it's so dated, badly, that it's just, we watched like the first 6 episodes, I think it was, and we were like, yeah, we know it's supposed to get better. Like, apparently season 3 is like one of the best pieces of television. Apparently it's like phenomenal. But I just can't sit through like anymore.
It's a lot to get through.
Yeah, I said to Ash, I was like, "Are you enjoying this?" And she's like, "I don't think so. I don't know." And I was like, "Well, let's call it, because I don't think I'm enjoying it in the slightest." So
I had that with I started watching. I've heard lots and lots of good things generally from the Wales Comic Con groups about The Expanse, because they always have people from The Expanse at Wales Comic Con, and whenever they get announced, everyone in the comments is just like, it's amazing, yeah, it's great, Belters for life, whoa, all this sort of stuff. I'm like, no idea about any of that, but okay. And I thought, before I get rid of Amazon, let me watch it and see what it's like. And I'd heard the first few episodes are just a real chore to get through, but then sort of the second and third seasons are supposed to be amazing, and it was so boring at first. I was like, I'm going to stick with it. I'm intrigued. I'm seeing where this is going. And by the time I got past that initial run, such a good series. I mean, it's one of those things. I know you're not a fan of space, so it's not necessarily for you. But I thought it was really, really good. Really enjoyed it. To the point where when it finished, I was like, I want more of this. But what is there? What can I watch? There's another season coming for me, but what can I watch? What can I watch? So I started watching Battlestar Galactica again. So, I'll do that's on iPlayer. I can watch that for free.
We did the thing. So I got Amazon Prime specifically for Ash to watch The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh yeah.
Because she missed season 3, the start of it, due to obviously the content of it and having Oliver and stuff like that. We were like, genuinely don't think that, like, she said she can watch it, and I was like, fair enough. So we're like, right, at some point we'll get around to doing it. So it hit season 4 is now out on Channel 4, and I was like, right, while it's on Channel 4 now, we can literally watch them. Why don't you just blitz all of season 3 while me and Dan pod, and that way then at least if you get bored, you can watch it and you can crack on and watch season 4 before season 4 disappears. And she was like, yeah, I think I'll do that then. So she started doing it, watched all of season 3, and was like, brilliant. She's like, right, what channel was Handmaid's Tale on channel what? And I was like, Channel 4. She's like, right, okay. There's episodes 8, 9, and 10 on Channel 4.
Oh, I hate when they do that. They have to hop 30 days.
Now move over to BritBox, doesn't it? So it's got like 20 days or something. Or
right,
like a month
happens.
Of it being on all 4, and then it moves over to BritBox. And I was like, that's fucking frustrating. And I was like, I wonder. So I went online, and I was just like, how to legally watch Handmaid's Tale season 4 in UK. And on the All 4 app, you can watch all of it. But if you use the on demand on Sky Q, there's literally only episodes 8, 9, and 10.
Okay, that's not so bad.
So you can only watch it if we hook the laptop up to the telly, or if she sits there and watches it on the phone, which won't do, because it's one of those shows that you need to have it
fair enough,
sound and all that sort of stuff on it. So I'm just like, how frustrating is that though, where you can literally watch it on the app but you can't watch it on the website? It makes no sense to me whatsoever.
It's the opposite with some shows though. There are some shows that you can't watch on the app on TVs, but you can only watch it on the web. So like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, what's that? Young Sheldon, what's it? The Big Bang Theory spin-off. Shell really liked that. When she saw the first season, was like, we wanted to watch it, and it was back on. And then we go onto the app, and it's like, not available. Like, why is it not available? We go on the laptop, and there it is, and you can watch it. But you can't watch it on TV. They're like, no. This is only for watching on your phone.
Yeah,
what? It makes no sense.
I don't understand it, because the free apps as well, so I don't understand why
It must be licensing or something. I don't know. I'm not sure how it works.
It's bizarre, but we can watch the full series on Amazon Prime for like 20 quid, and I'm like, no.
It'll come around eventually.
So it's just frustrating.
I know this show is only 2 episodes in, but there's a really good show that started on Disney Plus. It's called Only Murders in the Building. Have you seen anything about it?
I've heard a snippet about this.
So it's Steve Martin and Martin Short and Selena Gomez, I think.
Yeah.
And basically Steve Martin is he was an actor in like a cop show back in like the 80s when he was sort of, supposed to be in his 30s or whatever, and now he's Steve Martin age. And then Martin Short is a theatre producer who's out of work, and Selena Gomez is just this first couple of episodes, it seems this random girl who is living in her nan's apartment and renovating it in this really nice expensive apartment building in New York. And it turns out all 3 of them are obsessed with this true crime podcast. And then suddenly they find that someone gets murdered in the building. So they all start talking about it and decide that they want to make their own true crime podcast about it. Because Steve Martin hasn't had work for ages, theatre producer can't get any shows off the ground. And then this girl, because she's like the true crime podcast, is like, yeah, I'll help out. So they start investigating the murder. And then someone gets, like, the name of it comes from someone gets murdered in Central Park, and they're like, maybe for season 2 we should go and investigate this murder in practice. No, we only investigate murders in our building. It's only murders in the building. And it's basically just this murder mystery about these 3 weird misfit characters investigating this murder and recording the podcast. It's really, it's end of the day, when I saw it was Steve Martin anyway, that was pretty much me sold on it. Mainly because, like, I think he's really good anyway, but he tends to only do stuff that he's really into. Like, when was the last Steve Martin film or TV show that you saw? It's probably been years, because he's just stopped. And so to have something to bring him back, my impression of it was that it was going to be really good, and I'm really enjoying it. It's really kind of just kooky and quite dark and funny, but well worth having a watch. Like I said, it's only 2 episodes in, so you can sort of get started on it straight away. I'm not sure what day it goes live, but
we started watching on I don't know if we talked about this last week, 9 Perfect Strangers.
Oh yeah, so that's on Amazon as well, isn't it? Yeah. I saw the trailer and that intrigued me. See, that in theory should be the same thing, thinking, oh, Nicole Kidman's doing this, so it's got to be good for a big Hollywood A-lister like this. But no, she does so much TV now.
Yeah, and some of it really isn't good. We watched that was on Sky Atlantic again, and it's based on a book or something where it was like her husband was framed for the murder of someone that he was having an affair with. And all this sort of stuff. And we're like, oh, Nicole Kidman's in this. This should be really good.
Yeah, exactly.
They were like, no, that was just really bad.
I don't understand what's going on. Like, she's an Oscar winner, and she's gone like, all right, TV's where it's at.
Yeah,
fair enough.
It's really bizarre. But we started watching that 9 Perfect Strangers, and I was like, we'll see if it's any good, because I know a load of people, like at least like a dozen people on Facebook that have all read the book.
Right. Okay.
Said like the book's like brilliant. Let's hope the series can do it justice. And people are like, oh well, they're getting the characters good. So it should be good. And it's like, okay. And it's one of those that it's intriguing, but you don't know why it's intriguing. Yeah. And we're on episode. I think there's only like 8 episodes, and we're about to start episode 6 or 7 now. So it's right near the end of it.
Yeah.
And there's still so much to figure out what the fuck is actually going on in it. Basically, it's these people that all guess, like, we aren't giving anything away. You see it on the trailer where it loads it up. Nicole Kidman runs this like welfare rehabilitation clinic where you go in and you literally come out a different person as you were before.
Yeah.
You've been reborn and all this. And it's like there's a family that's in there. There's a couple that's in there, like a sportsman, like an American football player who has an injury and he can't play anymore, and he does drugs and he's in there to try and get over his addiction and that sort of stuff. And it's all in this like proper remote little island where you're not allowed your phone, you're not allowed contact with the outside world, and like all this sort of stuff. And it's just about their treatment and their week in this place. But by like episode 4, she starts slowly drugging them into it, and it's like they clock on to what's happening, and it's like, but they're fine with it. This is the weird thing. It's like, oh, it seems to be working. I'm like, what? It's really bizarre, but it gets you, and you're like, we'll just watch one more, because it's not amazing, but it's really intriguing me to know what's going to happen next.
That is what happened with me. There's a show, I don't even know what channel it was on in like the States who made it, but it showed up on my Amazon recommends. It's called Dispatches from Elsewhere, and it's got Sally Field, it's got Andre 3000, the guy from Outkast, and the main guy in it is I forget his name. He was in How I Met Your Mother, not the main guy, not Ted Thingy, Lily's husband, and he was in what was that film with Russell Brand in Hawaii? Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Do you know the guy I mean?
Are you on about the dude from the Muppets as well?
Oh, from the Muppets movie. He was in the Muppets movie. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Him.
Jason
Segel.
Yeah, that's
that guy.
I was Beagle, and I was like, it's not Beagle, it's Jason something.
He wrote it and he produced it, and it's like a one-off. It's just this one series. He said they might do more series, but it'll be completely different stories. And it's kind of based on partly a true story, and it was about this sort of extended reality game where people kind of rang a number and got told to go to a place, and started going up, building up on the internet and stuff like that. And
is it good?
Institute. So exactly how you described that show, which was like, I think I like this, but I can't tell whether I'm more intrigued than I am like enjoying it. I by the end of it, I think I settled on that I did enjoy it. It was weird. I think there's 10 episodes, maybe 12 episodes. But I remember it getting to 2 episodes before the end and thinking, oh, right, we're on the last episode here. And it's weird. It almost wrapped up the story. And then I was like, hang on, there's 2 more episodes. And then it sort of picked up all these little loose threads and then went off again for another 2 episodes. So it's really bizarre. I think you probably should watch it. I think you'll probably enjoy it, or you'll know whether you're enjoying it a few episodes in. If you've got the time, you can give it 3 or 4 episodes, try it. Because I think by the end of it, I'm like, I'd like more of this. I like this sort of mystery and this sort of intriguing weirdness. And Richard E. Grant's in it as well. Some really like big, decent people in it. But the good thing about it, because there's these 4 characters, there's a section in it, 4 episodes, where each episode is following a different person, showing the story from their perspective, and that works. It works really well. I would say it's worth watching. But also, Watchmen is now back available to watch on Sky and Now TV. And if you still haven't watched that, I've been dying to see it again, but it disappeared off Now TV. So I was like, I might just buy the Blu-ray of it, but it's back on now. So you still need to watch Watchmen. That was one of the best TV shows I've seen in the last 10 years. It was amazing.
Yeah, I've got that on the
player. So good.
I wanted to watch at some point. I will get around to it.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Well, anyway, I think we've talked enough TV.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yes. So it's been a pleasure. You didn't have any other news you wanted to throw in quickly, do you?
Just very, very quickly before we do go though, have you seen Horizon, the next Horizon game that's coming out?
Oh yeah, Forbidden West or whatever it's called, isn't it? Was that there?
It is indeed.
Yeah.
So basically, Sony came out and were like, right, we're not doing any upgrades, we're not doing anything special unless you buy like the Super Uber Collector's Edition of it, which was like 120 quid. And then they were like, if you buy that on the PS4, you can have it on the PS5. And people are like, but there's still no PS5, and the chip shortage is going to go on until 2023. So is there no way we can buy it for the PS4 and you just let us upgrade down the line?
Yeah.
And Sony were like, no. And admittedly, it's not the first time they've done it. So,
No.
And like EA and stuff.
It was Spider-Man, really. Was Miles Morales? Wasn't it? If you only got the version of the original Spider-Man if you bought like the super uber mega deluxe edition.
Yeah.
And then they eventually caved and went, all right, here's an update. If you pay 15 quid or whatever, you can get it.
Yeah, I was going to say, but thankfully they did do the free upgrade if you bought it. Like when they first started off this gen, they were brilliant with it, like Sackboy and Spider-Man and stuff.
Well,
it
kind of makes sense. They want to encourage you to buy it at first, but it sounds like they think they're out of that period now, whereas the general public is like, no, we're not.
Especially when Xbox are doing it, where like buy it on anything and it'll work on all of them.
Yeah.
So
except when EA go, oh, right, just not with FIFA.
Yeah. Not as FIFA and Battlefield, but anything else.
Yeah,
it's free to go.
It's fine. Yeah.
But there's been enough controversy and people saying they're just going to wait for the PC version to play it then, and they're not going to bother with the PS5. That they've gone, okay, guys, we're coming back with our tail between our legs, and literally, like this morning, they've announced that like a week and a half later, after everyone's bought the super fancy Uber Collector's Edition, pre-ordered it, not eligible for a refund to get this one. They're like, go on then, guys, it's fine, but we'll give you the free upgrade, and we're really sorry. You can have it a few months down the line.
Right.
So we're like, fuck's sake.
But it's they've said that this is the last one, haven't they? Everything else is going to be like a $10 surcharge or something. Yeah. Which, to be honest, that makes sense because generally
it's what they did with the PS3 and 4.
Yeah, well, the PS5 games are generally $10 or whatever, or £10, more than the PS4 version, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
So surely that makes sense. What they don't want is people going, "Oh, I'll buy." Because I thought that when they actually launched the console, I thought if I had one, I would just buy the PS4 version and then do the digital upgrade or whatever.
Well, that's what we did for me, like the guys in work, like Mike and Mark, both got PS5s.
Right.
So we just all chipped in like together and got those. Like a PS4 game, so they could do the PS5, like the Watchdog Legion, because they both want to play that online, and then get told that the multiplayer was coming like a few months down the line, and we're like, oh, whoops! By which point, none of them were playing it. But we did that for the PS4 upgrade because we managed to get that like dirt cheap on eBay. No, in fact, it was a Hot UK deal. It wasn't even eBay. Hot UK deals. It was like 23 quid or something like that on the PS4, and we're like, well, go on, then we'll do that. And they've got a PS5 game for Christmas. They can't really argue with that.
Right.
So it was brilliant, but now obviously they've changed that around and like
it makes sense to stop people doing that on purpose. But you also don't want to punish the people who legitimately are like, well, I've got PS4 now, I want to play the game now, but I'd also like to be able to play the new updated version. So the tenner surcharge down the line isn't that bad.
No,
but it's that's not the problem. It's the fact that they went nothing at all.
Yeah, and they just literally had to have all that publicity before they were like, because Microsoft were lapping it up, and that's the thing, isn't it? Like
that's happened so many times though. It's constantly where it's like
this level, this generation, it really has. Like Microsoft have well outplayed Sony, whereas last time round it was the way around. Like. This time round, like Microsoft are absolutely smashed out the park.
Well, this is the first generation that's had Game Pass from launch, though, isn't it? So that really is the thing that is making it.
It's a game changer. That is.
Yeah, it's just whether that's making them enough money, but they'll never tell us. So we'll see.
God no. Yeah, it's interesting, and also just very quickly, apparently the Alan Wake remastered. Edition, it has been taken down. Apparently, it went live on some Peruvian website or something.
Like a pre-order.
Yeah, the pre-order for it, and it's coming out next month in October.
Oh, nice.
But it seems Remedy have got the rights back to that now because Microsoft had it.
Really?
They've got the rights back to it now. It's coming out on the PS4 and 5 and Xbox. So it's coming out on the PlayStation formats now as well, and like obviously Steam and all that sort of shit.
Yeah. They did Quantum Break as well, didn't they?
They did do Quantum Break and Control.
I know they did Control, absolutely, but Quantum Break that's an Xbox exclusive, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I don't think they got the rights to that, thankfully.
No. Well, it's is that there? That's their Beyond Two Souls. Their games, is it? Oh, shame. Fair enough. Because when I finished Control, I was very much like, what else did these guys do? I need to play more. And I know some of the games they did, and I know they're generally their history, but I've not really kept up with them in the last sort of 5 to 10 years.
Like, I didn't realise they didn't have the rights to Max Payne anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's why we've not had anything like even like appear in another game or anything.
Yeah,
nothing at all from it because
they knew they were getting Alan Wake back, so they brought him in to DLC on Control.
Yeah, which I was going to say, I think that's what sort of like they were teasing us with, to be like, hey, do you like this? Yeah, boom. Right, here's Alan Wake, because apparently the sequel is going to get announced shortly as well.
Fair enough.
Be great. So that just stokes more fuel to the fire of this remake.
Yeah, or at least the
proper thing.
The crossover. That's the rumor, isn't it? A sequel with Jesse out of Control.
Which I really need to play.
Yeah,
at the moment, it's on Final
you have
Fantasy
nothing. 14. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is on PC, isn't it? You can play it on PC.
It is. I've got it on Epic Games Store.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, of course. They put it free on Epic, didn't they?
Yeah, so I've got it to play. I just need to buy a pad to ideally play it. I mean, I can play with mouse and keyboard, no issue, but it's that sort of game. You attach it to the telly and play with the pad, but I'm just massively addicted to Final Fantasy 14, so...
Fair enough.
Yeah, and they're doing the crossover with the Final Fantasy 15 as well, so you can get the regalia and
fair enough,
the gear and stuff with that soon. So that'd be nice. That's coming 13th next week.
Oh, wow.
Good.
Nice.
Well, but sorry,
it's all right. I need to get to bed because I've got Chessington Worlds of Adventures to get to tomorrow.
Oh, have you got any challenges yet?
We've got a better idea for tomorrow. So we've been putting up on Instagram asking people to give us. We're making a video where we do something in each park. So, like Alton Towers, what do we do? Oh yeah, we had to score 100,000 points in one go on Duel, which you'll see in the video. I had an idea that would have done it. Whether or not we succeeded or not, you'll find out. And then today, it was this is what I said before about this will come back in full circle, and I forgot to mention it, but it was do the accents of every country in the mini land. So Legoland has like a miniature village, but it's loads of countries around the world. So we had to go around there and do the accents. So that was fun. And then tomorrow we thought, a bit different. We'll put up, we'll go onto a ride. We'll get in a queue and we'll put up a poll with 2 more rides and let people pick which ride we go on next. And then we'll come up with some other ideas throughout the week. Thorpe Park is well, I've got a good idea, but we'll see if anyone else comes up with something better.
Right. Okay.
Right. Anywho.
Enjoy the rest of your week, sir.
Must leave. I will try. You too. Enjoy editing.
I shall.
Okay. And thank you for listening.
Thanking you for having us.
See you later. Bye.
Doodles.
Bye.